Right, if you two don't play nice, I will split you up for the last time. You've got to stop getting hot with each other. You go play over there, and you go play over there. Daddy has to work. Tom Campbell from Isolation Station 24601 here with some wrestling news. WWE have issued a statement following an employee's forced to work claim. Vince McMahon is being sued over the XFL. We'll talk about that shortly. And we have an update on the future of Rob Gronkowski in the WWE. The name John has been on the front of minds of WWE guys in the last few hours. Not necessarily Cena or Laurinaitis or Morrison or Bradshaw Layfield or other Johns that I can't remember right now. This is an anonymous employee called John who sent in a message to the meeting of the Orange County Board of County Commissioners. So in this message, they talked about their concerns for WWE's current working environment, saying that it was unsafe, it wasn't adhering to social distancing, and also saying that they're being forced to go to work. This employee wanted to remain anonymous because, as he said in this message, he fears repercussions for jobs should he speak out publicly and put his name out there. So there is fears from this particular employee that should he speak out against some of the practices within WWE, that he'll get fired for it. This really set a lot of tongues wagging around not just the wrestling world, but around the media world as well, because there's been a lot of talk on whether or not WWE should be classed as essential business, and by this point everybody has their own mind made up on it. Since then, WWE have issued a statement regarding this accusation from John, as his name is, and the response goes as follows. I'm going to read it verbatim. These accusations aren't true. Employees know they can confidently go to human resources, not the public. Notwithstanding the appropriate protocol, no one would be fired if they were uncomfortable with their surroundings. We've made accommodations for individuals upon request. And there is truth to that, to an extent, obviously with Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns being a key part of the company who is immunocompromised, stepped away from one of the big matches of WrestleMania this year because of this very reason. But obviously Roman Reigns is a highly thought of talent. I don't know how far down the ladder that kind of preferential treatment goes. We simply don't know. Very concerning that somebody felt the need to go to this extent to talk about their concerns for WWE running tapings. And as I say, by now we'll all have our own opinions on whether WWE should be running tapings or not. They've obviously changed the pattern a few times now. Originally, up until like probably over the weekend, it was set to be live TV every single week, 3 times a week, and that has now changed. But the main reason that changed was because Fox and NBC said, we're not going to dock you any money if you don't do live shows. It felt like it was more from a financial point of view than anything else. Be that as it may, this story, I do believe, is something that is going to be worth keeping an eye on. Incidentally, PW Insider on their Elite Audio podcast, Mike Johnson made a comment on the atmosphere backstage. Mike Johnson says, we're told that while everyone is wearing masks, they are still very much, it's closer to business as usual than it had been in recent weeks, because they're all considered essential employees and they're doing what they're doing. So suggests that maybe it's a little bit more lax on some aspects of this, like social distancing and things, because they're considered an essential business. As I say, this is one that we will certainly be keeping an eye on at Cultaholic. The bad news keeps on coming for Vince McMahon, with an employee speaking out against practices within WWE. He's about to get a lawsuit smashed in his face by somebody very high up in the now shuttered XFL. The former commissioner of the XFL, who was hired by Vince McMahon in 2018 to head up the revival of Vince's Football Federation, has filed a lawsuit against McMahon in Connecticut for unspecified damages due to a breach in contract. This turns out to be a wrongful termination lawsuit, the summary of which goes as following. Mr. Luck wholly disputes and rejects the allegations set forth in the termination letter and contends they are pretextual and devoid of merit. It's wrongful termination is where this is going. The Athletic also noted that Alpha Entertainment filed to have the bankruptcy court reject certain executive contracts. So what we can gather from that is that Luck and some of the other executives would get none of their contracted salary in this clause that was written into this. He was due apparently $20 million over the life of his contract working for the XFL, a job which lasted less than a year. And now he's suing for wrongful termination. This is a really sticky situation for Vince McMahon to be in, as well as everything else going on in his WWE. With XFL, this could be one of many lawsuits that could come his way from people who previously worked for him. Another one that we'll be keeping an eye on. It never rains, it pours with bad news. Monday Night Raw ratings are in. 1.84 million viewers on average. This is another record low for Monday nights. These are worrying numbers for WWE. It seems as if the intrigue of doing these live wrestling shows in empty arenas has completely dissipated, and people are dropping off now because there is an eeriness about watching Monday Night Raw in an empty arena. Obviously, we do here because it's our job to. But there is a strange feeling about watching something like Raw when there's no fans there. Very unsettling. And I think for a lot of people, I know a few people who are avoiding watching Raw just because it feels so weird at the moment. And it's devastating because at the moment, this is like the dawn of Drew McIntyre's run as WWE champion. And through no fault of his own, I doubt Drew caused the pandemic. Through no fault of his own, he finds himself in this situation where he is the top of a company which is still running live shows with no crowds, and also over the last 7 days or so has had quite a few PR disasters. It was a week ago where this time last week we were mere hours away from finding out all the roster cuts within WWE. So there's a lot of fan backlash from that as a result of this. I'm not saying that's what's caused the ratings to drop. The ratings seems to be dropping back in that way anyway. What can you do to fix it? There's so many people that are calling for the tapings to stop. And the thing is, with WWE, they're the only company that could weather something like what is going on right now in multiple ways. They have financial reserves that can keep them ticking over. They have good relationships with TV companies, although there is a discussion on first run and live shows that these TV companies want to have. But they've also got a massive wealth of archives. They could stop WWE for the entire year, and there would be enough and loads left over to fill it with classic footage. Matthew mooted the idea on Pitches for WrestleMania that they could have got around all this by having Drew McIntyre claymore Brock Lesnar in the face so hard that WWE goes back in time 5 years. So you just run the last 5 years of WWE while everybody just sits at home and has a lovely time. I mean, that's an option. I think a lot of these issues it's a big PR thing at the moment, the big PR issue for WWE right now, and the ratings are a worry. How do you turn that round in the current climate? But I guess we'll find out together, won't we? There's some weird ironic timing for this next story. The WWE SmackDown Hacker is set to be revealed very soon. This is the person or persons that have been playing silly buggers on SmackDown on a Friday night with glitches and secret camera footage and all this stuff. They have a Twitter account now. And if you go to the message WWE on Twitter, it is there for you. You may be wondering why this Twitter account that has just clicked into existence suddenly has 100,000 plus followers and is verified on Twitter. Well, this is an old WWE account that has been repurposed. This is the old Stand Up for WWE campaign Twitter account that they have rebadged. And I know this because I think last night I typed in Stand Up for WWE on Twitter and it took me to this Twitter account. So the metadata was still ticking away behind there. If you don't remember Stand Up for WWE, this was WWE's attempt to hit back at the mainstream media that was running down WWE for numerous reasons. And this was WWE rallying the fans to back them up on stuff. They put out an article during the height of Stand Up for WWE, which was a little thing they posted on Twitter, and it was 10 ways to stand up for WWE. So I'm going to educate you on this. From that article, 10 ways to stand up for WWE. Forward, stand up for WWE videos to your friends. So you can make a video and send it to your mates about WWE. Upload video testimonials to YouTube and Facebook voicing your support. Email your friends and family stating why you are a WWE fan. Dear Auntie Belinda, I like John Cena. I think that's what they meant. Friend WWE on Facebook. This is how old this is. Friend them. Make I'm standing up for WWE your Facebook status. Do that today. Write a letter to the editor of your newspaper. Dear the Northern Echo, I like the wrestling. Back off, mate. Yours, etc. at Tom Campbell on Twitter. Share your favourite WWE stories on Twitter and Facebook. Fair. Read a story. Have you read a story that is unfair to WWE? Email the reporter. Create I Stand Up for WWE signs or t-shirts for live events. Do we have many Stand Up for WWE signs at live events? Did you make one? I'm intrigued. And number 10, because they clearly ran out, check back regularly for updates. Okay. That was WWE rallying the fans to basically kick off at anybody that insulted WWE. I'm fascinated by this. I think the timing of this story is incredible. How this has come out in the same week that John has stood up for WWE in his own way. And finalement, let's get an update on Rob Gronkowski, can we? The reigning and defending undisputed 24/7 champion has himself a bit of a football thing going on again. It has been announced that despite having a contract with WWE, the Gronk, the tight end, Neddy called him a hard end, that's something very different. The tight end is rejoining the NFL. So it was announced today that the Patriots were trading Gronk to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he's off to Tampa Bay. Go Bucks. Are you called the Bucks? I don't know. Which means he's going to be hanging out with Tom Brady in Tampa again, which is a lovely thing for football fans from off of America. WWE have commented on this and they put out a tweet saying, "Congratulations to Rob Gronkowski, the current WWE 24/7 champion, on his return to football. Per the rules of the 24/7 title, Gronk must defend his championship at all times in any location. He could be celebrating a touchdown pass from Tom Brady anytime, anywhere." I like that. Mojo Rawley has also tweeted saying, "Hey Gronk, congrats, but remember, when I was at my work, you cheap-shotted me and stole my 24/7 title. I can't wait to spear you in the middle of training camp and win my title back, or during a Buccaneers game. Hashtag receipt coming." And then also, R-Truth has posted a video online calling for his 24/7 7-Eleven I-95 North-South European Television Championship back. So it feels like he's gonna sort of balance the two. Does that feel like what's happening here? Interestingly, and our head of geography, Jack the Jobber, pointed this out. He said that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is the nearest football team to the Performance Center, and obviously he's signed a contract with WWE and he was training at the PC. So if he wants to do both, he has got he's geographically set to do both if he wants to do both. However, it is unlikely. Once the season gets going, you basically got to make American football your entire life for 6 months. So it's very likely that we may see him do a little bit before the season starts. We may see him back on WWE TV. and then he'll devote to football. He may make random appearances. He may have like a John Cena type deal at the end of all this, where he just pops up every so often. The Gronk is the new John Cena, or the Undertaker, the Gronkataker. Make that a Photoshop. That'll fill some time during isolation. That's your news. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.